Hello, this is Rodrigo from Take Break Action, and today for the Freedom Hustler Show, I have Till Boadella. This guy was with us in Bulgaria having a great time. I met him there and found out that he was doing this, creating a life that he wanted and traveling the world like way before. He even has a mastermind where he helps other people how to found their life of traveling and adventure. So, welcome, Till.
Thanks. Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, can you give us a little bit about your story, like where you were before in business, and how did you got started into all this?
Sure, sure. Well, I started pretty early on in my life. I was like 19 years old. I was a young kid when I first, heard about this whole online marketing community. It was people like Evan Pagan. I'm not sure if you know him.
Yeah.
D'Angelo is his pen name in the
Yeah.
dating industry. So I kind of, I found out about Tony Robbins and all these people, and through him somehow about this idea that I could kind of create my own financial destiny. So it all started with like these early motivational audios, Tony Robbins, that kind of planted the seed. Then I found people like Evan Pagan and Frank Kern, all those people. But my first failures were very early on when I was 19 years old. I had this fairy tale idea that I could just put up a website and get rich, like overnight. That was my vision. So I had what I thought was like this revolutionary idea to put up a classified ad website. Something like where people can put up little ads and they pay me something for that. And I had this delusional idea that I could just create this little, classified ad platform and people would just magically flock to my website and give me their money. Okay. So I created that first website. Nothing ever happened. I made no money at all. I was kind of shocked to see that no one cared about my project and about my website. So it was kind of a harsh wake up call back then, right? I had this big vision and it was like crushed. I set up this website, nothing worked. So I even actually got a bit into spamming stuff, because I actually went to some shady list broker and I bought like a mailing list of 100,000 email addresses. So I sent out the spam email to promote my classified ad platform, and I actually made a few sales from that. I think I made like $110 in sales from that. So I realized, okay, I mean, it's possible to make money online, but I kind of have to change my strategy. It's not as easy as I thought. Okay, so later on, this project, I started this actually back with my girlfriend back then when I was 19 years old. So what happened, what happens to a lot of people, we actually broke up a couple of years later, and I was pretty crushed, from the whole breakup. So I kind of gave up the whole business thing for 1 or 2 years because I was just struggling with, the emotional side of the breakup and getting my life back on track, pretty much. And I started to produce music. So I went into the music industry. I was a fan of hip hop music. So I started to produce my own beats. I guess it was also kind of a way to deal with the breakup thing, to kind of express myself a little bit through music. So I downloaded the program to create beats, and I got into the beat making thing. And I discovered that there's all these music producers on the internet that are making good money from selling beats online. It's a very weird small market. And I had a friend who made around $10,000 to $14,000 every month just from selling beats on the internet. And I was amazed by that. I was like, I mean, that's just amazing. Like some guy selling music online, like it's a very small niche. And I was like, I'm gonna try this. So first it started as a hobby. I was creating beats. I made maybe 100 beats, in my room. And then I was like, okay, let's turn this into a business. And that's when I started to learn everything I could about marketing. I set up a website called directbeats.com. Created a little e-commerce store and started, selling beats. In the beginning, just, very few sales, like $20, $40 a month. And then I just scaled it up I set small goals, and I went up to a couple hundred every month, and it was all automated stuff. Like I didn't know these people. That was what was so amazing for me, right? It was just PayPal sales. And I remember how this money came in through PayPal, like small sales, not like big sales, like, for example, what Tim teaches in the Freedom Business Studio, like the $8,000 sales. But like my first sale was $14 on PayPal. I remember it. It was amazing because I didn't know the person, right? It was just some stranger from somewhere else in the world I never met. I just woke up with an email from PayPal, that I made a sale. And I was like, wow, it's just $14, but I felt like a little kid. Like it was so amazing, So
Yes,
like, yeah, I just need to make more of these $14 sales, right? So I just, I went into like, after that, I made it my purpose to really study marketing. Not because I wanted to become a teacher. Right now I teach marketing. Back then, I didn't want to be a teacher. Like I just wanted to learn marketing to make my music business work, so I could have enough money, not having to go to a job and kind of, making a living from what I love doing. So I kind of learned marketing out of necessity, desperation, because I hated school, I hated university. I was at university, also studied sociology and psychotherapy, but I never liked it. It was never for me. So I always desperately wanted to make this online business thing work. So I had to learn it. For me, it was clear this is my path, and I just have to learn it. So I spent like day and night learning marketing, applying it. Most of the stuff didn't work that I tried. Most of the stuff I thought I could just copy paste it from some marketing guru. Most of the stuff didn't work, but I just tested, learned lots of amazing stuff through just trial and error, and kind of found out what works, what doesn't work in my business, and just grew it from there. And I built a business. I built that business in the music industry to about $1,000 to $2,000 a month, recurring passive income from small sales, right? So anything between $18 to $40 sales, and sometimes higher sales. Like the highest is like $320, the highest price product I had. So I built that, learned marketing there, and then I went into the personal development market. I built a site called tigerfreedom.com, which is focused on personal development. Created a productivity course there, sold that, and now I'm building uncovermarketing.com, which is my most recent business, where I basically teach everything I learned, from that direct response marketing world, direct marketing that I learned in the music industry, and helping other people applying the same principles in their businesses. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's been an amazing journey. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I understand about the $40. I remember that I did a website for a guy, like only for like $150. And obviously, right now I see that not as much. But in that moment, it was like, I just worked like 2 hours and got this. Like, I got a fourth of my salary.
The first sale is always the most amazing. I think it's just like something happens in the brain, I believe, when you make that first sale. It's like, I don't know, it's just some little trigger gets switched, some switch gets hit in your brain where you see, wow, someone that I've never met can pay me money, on the internet for something that I have to offer. That means somehow I'm valuable. It means somehow I have enough value to offer for someone to pay me for it. And if I can just get more of those sales and offer more value and do more of this, I can make more money, right? So it just turns out to be a numbers game at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, very much. And the thing is that most people don't understand that. Like they try to go for passion things and all that, but they forget the math in it. Like if the numbers are not in their favor, no matter what they do, they are going to fail.
Yeah, that's huge. I believe, a huge part of business is having a predictable, ongoing system that generates leads for you and generates sales for you. Like if you don't have that in your business, and predictability can have it can take on different forms, but You have to know, if I invest $100, I can expect so many leads and I will make so many sales and so much money. Like, you need to know your ROI that you're getting. You need to know if you're investing in advertising. You need to know how much you can spend to acquire a new customer. You need to know those metrics, right? Because otherwise, and that's a mistake a lot of small businesses are making. They don't really measure their ROI because they don't have enough training in direct response marketing. So they have like the classical marketing training, create nice little creatives, cute sounding slogans, and just pump some money into Google AdWords or Facebook ads, and let's hope it works out, right? A lot of small businesses are still approaching advertising that way. They're not really measuring what's going on, the ROI that they're actually getting, right? So I think it's huge, yeah, predictability, finding and building a funnel that is predictable, and that for every dollar that you invest, you make so many dollars. I mean, that's the ideal, right? That's what every marketer and every business should focus on building, in my opinion.
Yeah, right. Like, I have to admit that I have gone through a lot of time without measuring things. Now putting a lot of order into things, trying to get everything documented, try to get a whole of all the expenses and all the earnings that I get. And pretty much that's how I'm doing it right now. Obviously, right now I'm changing a lot of things since the trip. Chris gave me a lot to work with. But in general, like, what do you see? What do you think is the most common mistakes that people are making besides that when they start their own business?
I would say that one mistake I see a lot of people making, in my inner circle group and people I talk to, is they want to start right with the masses, right? A lot of people, they want to, I don't know, Seth Godin, the guy, he talks about like the connection economy and all of that. And I believe it's very, very important for people to understand how the connection revolution and the connection economy works. That it's all about meaningful connections with people. Like, the era of mass advertising and mass marketing, it's over. Okay? So what counts now is building your own tribe, building connections with people who care about what you do and what you have to offer. And I still see a lot of people just trying to build a Twitter following, off the ground, like trying to get 18,000 Twitter followers, and yet they have never made a sale, or barely no sale, right? I'd rather have one person that really cares about me and my business, one person, than 20 or 50,000 random Twitter followers that aren't targeted and that don't care about what I do. So a lot of people, they switch the business process on the head. They're trying to start big and then getting the sales. They try to target the masses right away, selling some random product and hoping that it'll convert. And instead, what you should do is you should start with a small community, start with a few people, start with a few clients, learn what they need, learn what they want, talk to them, find out what they really want, find out what type of product they want, what type of service, then coach them, help them, build something of value for them in a dialogue with them. It's all about dialogue. Finding out what they want, not just creating a product that you believe is valuable. Because in most cases, I see so many people, they just create a product out of the blue and no one wants it. Like, you have to test everything in marketing, and if you can start small and just have a few connections and work and build the product together with those people, with their help, by asking them, what do you need? By doing Q&As, maybe you do a little live coaching session and you ask them, what other questions you want to have answered from me, or what wasn't clear, or what else do you need? Then you take that knowledge and then you create a product, and then you start scaling up, then you start targeting bigger, broader groups. That's when you can really thrive with your business. But most people, they want to skip this process. They just want to overnight have a product, set up a Facebook ad, target 1 million people, and just expect sales to roll in. And I just believe maybe it happens for 1 or 2 people, but most people I know doesn't work, because you have to turn this process again back on its feet. You have to ground this process in real meaningful connections. Start small, do what Jeff Walker calls a seed launch. He talks a lot about this, Jeff Walker, the creator of the product launch formula. He has this whole process called the seed launch, which is, pretty much what I just talked about. And that really helps you to build those connections first and then scale up. Don't scale up first, if you haven't built those connections yet. So yeah, start. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they want to get ahead of themselves too fast, and you can't scale zero. That's the thing. You can't scale zero. If you haven't made a single sale yet with one single person, you can't scale that. It's impossible to scale zero, right? That's a problem. Start small and then stack the momentum, build it up, and just expand it from there. That's one thing I would tell people. Another mistake is people are not hustling enough. A lot of people, they have this idea, they want to build a business, but they don't take it seriously enough. I believe it's very hard to really build a profitable business. I wish I could tell people, dude, it's the easiest thing in the world, just flip this switch and you have a business overnight. I wish I could market that way, but it's not how it works. So a lot of people, because we're living in a free economy, everyone can do this. And the person that hustles more, the person that works more, will just be so much ahead of other people that are just tipping their toes into the water, hoping that something's going to happen, trying something, and in most cases, those people aren't committed enough. So, if anyone watching this, if you want to start a business, then you really have to understand that you have to commit 100%. You have to be 100% dedicated to the process. You have to stop trying and start doing. Okay? Don't try to build a business, because as long as you're coming from this trying frame, nothing's really going to happen. Yeah, you have to test, but you have to just go out and do it and be committed. Decide, yep, this is what I want to do with my life. This is, my purpose, my gift to the world. Then just make it happen and be 100% committed and work really, really hard so you can get above this threshold. There's like a general noise in every marketplace, and if you can't raise above that noise, it's very, very hard to make stuff happen, to build a business, to stand out, to make those sales. So yeah, start small, focus on meaningful connections with people, make a difference in their life, and then scale it up from there with the knowledge and the understanding of the marketplace you get from those people. And then just work very hard and become a hustler and really be 100% committed. And if you do those two things, I believe in the long term you can't fail. You're 100% committed and you approach your business the right way, from the right angle, and you don't quit down the road, I believe there's no reason why you should be failing. Yeah.
Awesome. And like paradoxically speaking, when you the people who try to make it big like right away never do it. But I have seen more people do it your way, like creating like meaningful connection first with maybe 3 people or so, and because they were like huge contractors who made like skyscrapers, or they were into this millionaire industry, like they get shitload of money. Like they get amazing projects. Chris, for example, was able to get a lot of money from construction CEOs in meetup events in just 2 months. And there was another guy, I don't remember who, in their first sale was like $15,000 because he had a friend in a huge company. Of course, as you say, like those are exceptions, but at the same time, they apply the same principles that you have just spoken.
Yeah, absolutely, because a connection can go a very, very long way. A lot of people, they underestimate the power of a connection. Like if you have a meaningful connection with someone and the person trusts you, that can go a very, very long way. Like, I mean, you can close very high ticket sales sales with these types of people. You can have repeat businesses with those people. One person that you have a connection with can introduce you to other people in the industry. You can get referral clients. One very, very meaningful connection that you have, if it's an authority or a celebrity in your niche, can elevate your positioning because now you're associated with this big name in the industry. So just one good client, one powerful connection can dramatically, transform your business, and that's a million times more valuable than having 50,000 Twitter followers that are kind of random and don't really care about you. Like, there's no value in that. It's not about the masses. Okay? It's about the connection. And one powerful connection is more valuable than 50,000 non-powerful connections with people that don't care about you. So yeah, I think it's a great example, that you bring this up. And if people, I also believe if people can get rid of this mental barrier, and just realize sometimes you just need one sale, sometimes you just need one person, one client to start off, and then you just take things from there. The whole business process gets less overwhelming, right? Because you can just start with one, and then once you have that first client, the next one, right, up to two. Then maybe you apply some internet marketing, and you have a system that generates leads for you automatically. So then maybe the next month you go up to 10 leads without you having to talk on Skype with everyone necessarily, right? Then you maybe do a product launch, and you reach 100,000 people, without having to spend your time. So you can scale it up, but it all starts with one. And a lot of people don't understand that internet marketing is the least effective way of selling. In-person selling is the most effective. I'm sure you know this. If you're selling high-ticket ticket offers, in-person is always the most effective. If you're putting up a sales letter on the internet, just sending random traffic to that sales letter, it's the least effective way of selling, but it's the highest leverage way because you don't have to show up, right? The highest leverage but least effective. But a lot of people want to skip all these other steps of selling and jump right into the internet marketing way of selling, right? They set up a sales letter right away, create a product out of the blue, send random people to the sales letter, and then nothing happens. They make no sales because they skipped all these processes needed. They try and scale up right away. It doesn't work that way. You have to start with one client, with one meaningful connection, then slowly, build a little network, a little community of your first clients. Then you understand the process, you understand the needs of your clients, you understand how you are closing the sales, and then you systemize that. And then you take what works, and then you build a system around it, then you write a sales letter, then you show it to more people, then you scale it up, and then you use classical internet marketing strategies. But again, most people try and skip all those steps, jump right into the internet marketing, because that's like a fairy tale, right? It's like just put up a sales letter, send a bunch of people to the sales page, and become a millionaire. That's the dream that everyone has, right? But you gotta do the groundwork first. Then later on, do that, and life will be great. Yeah.
Awesome. I was watching Get Altitude by Evan Pagan, and there was this guy who pretty much did businesses as a product. Like, he created a business thinking ahead that he was going to sell it later. And
Yeah.
his strategy was that as soon as he created a business, he started to looking for the people who could buy this business, made friends with them, like real friends, going out to beer parties, all that. So in 5 years from now on, like when he wanted to sell the business, it was just a phone call. It's like, hey, look, I'm selling this shit. Are you interested, or do you know anybody who's interested? And it wasn't like a sales call anymore. He didn't have to pitch because he already knew they were already friends. It's like if I wanted to sell this cell phone and just say, oh, hey, do you know somebody who wants to buy this? Like it was as natural as that. And he made millions that way, and not only millions, but amazing friends, like great connections who keep getting him further and further. So I think that's the way of marketing, like just creating amazing friends surrounding with the amazing people that, as you say, care about you, like really care about you, and who
Yeah.
will help you to get closer to that.
Yeah, so it's all about business relationships. A lot of people, they forget the word relationships in business. Business is all about relationships. You have a relationship with every customer. Every one of your customers, you have a relationship with that customer. Every client, every prospect, you have a relationship with them. And all business, all marketing is about building relationships with people, because all marketing is pretty much all about positioning. It's all about warming up a cold prospect, warming them up to the point where they trust you, they have enough comfort, and they want to buy from you. Okay? Marketing is selling in advance. So if you can take a cold prospect and warm them up so they feel like they're your best friend, how easy is it to sell them something? You just said it. It's just a phone call, right? And that's the idea of marketing. If you can do that on a mass scale, if you can use your marketing in a way where your prospects view you almost like this good friend, they have so much trust in you, they feel so comfortable with you that they would pretty much give you the keys to their house, right? Or they would just hand you their credit card. That's the type of trust that you want to build with your prospects and your customers, because then selling becomes easy. Then you have leverage on your sales and on your sales process. So, friendships, relationships, business is all about this, and a lot of people forget this when it comes to marketing. They have like this mechanical process of marketing where they just push out content, right? They have a mailing list and they send out email blasts. They just pretty much spam people, and they really just view marketing as a numbers game. But they forget this whole notion of relationship, and they're just pushing, blasting out content, and they aren't building meaningful relationships. And this type of model, it's getting harder and harder and harder. So I believe in the future we'll have to all focus more on relationships, on connections, and that will be the way to go, because you don't need the masses to build a successful business. You don't have to target everyone, right? Every business has a certain tribe. Even Apple has a certain tribe of people that love Apple products. Apple has a huge tribe, but it's still a tribe. Okay? They have a tribe of people that connect with the Apple brand, that love it, that are just waiting for the next Apple product to come out. And no matter what business you're in, you have to create that tribe. You have to create those connections with people, so that they almost like view you as their best friend, and they're comfortable handing you their money. And that's what will be more important again in the future.
And this is like something that I get a lot. A lot of people come to me and say that, but I don't like dealing with people. Like, oh, I'm an introvert. It's like, that's a bad attitude. I was an introvert as well. I was the guy who was eating alone in the school, but it wasn't working for me. Like, I think we need to take responsibility as well for our identities and for attitudes toward the things that we need to do.
Yeah.
People think that I love doing all the stuff that I do, and it's like, no, I learned to love it. Like, I chose to put a smile on my face, but like, no, I don't know anybody who will sit really excited about reading a sales book.
Yeah.
Like,
Only
for
me.
example, you don't see lines of people like when Harry Potter was coming out. You see these lines, people making lines to buy these new books. You don't see that happening with marketing or finances book, but yet the few people that who buys them is like they choose to love it. It's not that they naturally like it, but
Yeah.
either way they have to do the work. Like, you have to choose to put a smile on your face. You have to choose to love to deal with people. And again, it's easier, way easier, when the people that you're dealing with are not somebody who you don't care about, but actually that it goes both way. They care about you, you care about them.
Yeah, I believe, entrepreneurship is a great way to challenge yourself. One reason why I'm an entrepreneur is because I love to be challenged. If I don't get challenged in my life, I get bored really fast. I always choose the hardest path that I can choose. When I'm working out, I choose the hardest workouts. I don't even care about that much how my body looks like. I'm just like, give me that mental, food. I need that mental food. I need those mental challenges. And the same is true in entrepreneurship. I'm also a natural introvert, but for me, entrepreneurship, it was always a great journey to actually come out of my shell, to do public speaking, to connect with people, do bigger and bigger webinars, starting to do live events, all of that. It's an amazing process. I mean, not just the money you can make from it, but Tony Robbins always used to say it's not about making $1 million, it's about becoming a person that can make $1 million. I believe it's so true. Like, what I get out of entrepreneurship and businesses, of course, I make a living, I make a lot of money, which is fun, right? I wouldn't want to trade that for anything else. But still, it's the person I've become. It's like becoming a problem solver, becoming a leader in your marketplace. That's where the personal challenge is for yourself and for your development, which is like so rewarding, like beyond all the money you could make. Even if you make $1 million or more, I believe the more money you make, the less you care about it, because at the end it's just 1 0 more at the end of the number. You don't really care about it. Probably I'll never feel that excited again as when I got my first $14 PayPal sale, for that beat package. Probably never again feel that excited. So at some point, it all starts to become a journey of mastery, where you just enjoy the process, you enjoy being challenged, you enjoy leading people, helping people, making a difference in the world, and yeah, that's where it's all at for me, at least. And I try to help other people, get into this mindset and build a business they really love and make an impact in the world in their own way.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Like right now, it's become like really addictive. Like as soon as you start seeing results, you get addicted to the process, and you just keep doing and doing. And yeah, I'm still like an introvert. Just for example, if you put me with a bunch of guys who just talk about football or really not important things, probably I'm going to be the guy in the table who is just eating alone and not talking to them. But then put me in a place with a lot of entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things. Like, well, you already saw me drunk with all of them.
And there's a lot of introvert entrepreneurs, and I believe introversion in many ways is also it's an advantage, because you're more creative. Introverts are more creative. They have a more vivid inner world. They're better at visualizing stuff. They're more creative. And that's, Seth Godin talks about that entrepreneurs are artists. In the connection economy, everyone will have to be an artist, because that's what connects you with the tribe. Entrepreneurship is a very creative process. And I actually view marketing and entrepreneurship as a form of art. Like, I was into music, you know that. I told that in the beginning. I was always into music and into arts. And I didn't stay on the music path, right? I don't produce any beats anymore. I have a team that produces beats for me and all of that, and I do the marketing for it. But marketing has become my new music. It's become my new creative process, because for me it's just like art, and that's why I believe introverted people have awesome benefits in entrepreneurship because of that creativity. Because introverts are just more naturally artistic people, in my opinion. So yeah, you're a lucky guy.
I think there is this one saying that says that before you self-diagnose with depression, make sure you're not surrounded by assholes. I think the same as introversion. Before you think you label yourself as an introvert, just make sure that the people around you are not assholes as well, because of course, and it's all, and they say, no, it's about the recharge of the energy. And it's like, no, dude, when you are with amazing people, you don't need to recharge energy. They give you amazing energy by just interaction, just by going with them. Like the week in Bulgaria, I don't know how I lived like that for a week. When I came back here, like 2 days after, I woke up and all my body was hurting so bad. And what is this? Like, holy shit, what happened? But over there, I was like, yeah, party, man, party. Keep the dreams coming.
But it still gave you a lot of perspective, and it energized you in another way. Energized. there's different forms of energizing yourself. Sometimes being in an environment that sucks the energy a bit from you, sometimes in the long term that can energize you, because you kind of, it's like going to the gym. You do something that's a bit out of your comfort zone. You lift a bit more heavy weights. In the moment, it's like, ugh, what's going on? Then a few weeks later, you're more energized. So yeah, maybe that's what happened, or that's what's going to happen in the following weeks after the event.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, it's like going on in deep on whatever you're feeling. For example, most people trying to run away from the pain, but this is pretty much how I got into anything important in my life, like entrepreneurship. I didn't join entrepreneurship because of passion. I pretty much dive into the pain and say like, okay, I cannot stay here. I cannot keep doing this shit anymore. I need to do something else. But for pickup was the same. Like all the things that I joined in, like I care and what's more important in my life was because I dive right into the thing that nobody wants to dive in.
Yeah.
I let myself be filled with it until I say, okay, no more. Let's do something else. Like, and that's amazing motivation as well. Like you can use that as motivation, as an energy. Like, oh, I'm lazy. I don't want to do this. Do you want to feel that way? Oh no, I'm going to do this shit, and that's it. Like,
and you build up a lot of resilience and internal, resources. If you learn to go against your emotions, if you learn to get out of your comfort zone. As an entrepreneur, you have to do it all the time, because that's what leadership is all about. Most people, they want to be led, they don't want to be leaders, or they're looking for leaders, and the leader is always the guy who has to do the uncomfortable stuff first, right? It's like you have to be the guy banging your head against the wall, banging your head through the wall to see what's on the other side, because no one else wants to do it, and then you kind of come back and tell people, yeah, on the other side of this wall, I saw this and this, That's a bit how I view leadership, and it is painful, because you're the guy always at the front, right? Like in warfare, as a leader, you're like the guy right at the front. Like you're getting bruised. You're the first person getting bruised, But you're also the strongest because of that. So yeah, it's kind of this love-hate relationship, with pain, where you kind of, you start to love the pain because you understand how well it. You understand the growth that comes from attacking, your fears and being driven by painful stuff. You understand that there's a huge growth process in that, and you kind of get addicted to it in a weird way. So it's kind of this love-hate relationship for me, but, whatever works to build your business and to drive you, that's fine for me. Pain is a huge motivation for many people. I mean, for me, pain is a bigger motivation than, some sort of glorious outcome. I think, I was always motivated by pain. I didn't want to. I hated school. I hated university. I didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job. I had all this leverage behind me, and I was like, okay, this stuff here, not for me. So I better find a way to do something else and live life on my own terms. And then at some point you make the decision, and then it doesn't matter, what challenges come and what pain you have to go through, because it's going to happen. You have to go through that pain to reach the next level, and it's still less painful than working in a 9-to-5 job, and slowly having your soul murdered, doing stuff you don't like doing. I believe that's the worst pain. Entrepreneurship comes with a lot of short bursts of intense pain. Yes. But like the other form of pain that most people experience in our society is like the slow, low-level pain of rotting in some day job they hate, like being very unconscious about life, getting wasted every weekend, having no purpose. Like that's nagging all the time. That's like eating away people's soul slowly, and I believe that pain is a lot worse long-term than like the entrepreneur's pain. That's like, it's more intense and it's more short-term. It's like you have these sprints where you have to like go through these periods of pain, and then you kind of, things get a bit easier again, and then you push again, and like you create this dynamic. I believe that's a lot better, and you just grow so much from the process. I think it's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Also, I think it's important like to get at least 5 people who can just discuss this type of problems with, because as they say, it's lonely at the top. There comes a moment where you cannot talk about your problems
Yeah.
to the normal people. Like if I go right now to somebody who is not into that, like all worried, and what's wrong with you, is like, what's happening? Like, I see you that you're bad. It's like, I have this problem because I couldn't pay my freelancer and I need to make $10,000, and they are going to think I'm a dick because my problem is that I'm struggling to make $10,000.
Yeah.
And they are not going to understand that. Like,
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah.
they are going to think like I'm just rubbing in their face that they are poor or something like that. But it's still like a high quality problem, you can say. But most of the people will not understand that, and I think it's important to have like some people who can you can discuss this type of problems,
Mm.
so you can look for solution, and you're not going to get look like you're an asshole or something like that. So
Absolutely. And that's why, that's why, for example, I created the mastermind group. That's why I created my inner circle mentoring program. I'm sure that's also one reason why Tim created the whole freedom business studio and the events that he's doing, the freedom business trips. I think that's why we need mentors. That's why we need to surround ourselves with people that are in the same mindset and even ahead of us, because I'm sure you know the saying that we're the average of the 5 people we hang around the most, right? It's like this big classic personal
yeah,
development thing. And I believe it's true. So many people agree on this. Like, if you take anything from personal development, like if you look at what does every guy in the personal development industry agree on? It's probably that you have to surround yourself with the right people. Right? 10 years from now, or yeah, 10 years from now, you will be like the people that you hang around with during those 10 years. And if you want your life to look differently, you better find new people you can hang around with that are ahead of you, that are challenging you, that are lifting you up, because unconsciously, you're always picking up stuff. Like, you're picking up the objections people have, the excuses people make. You pick it up because it burns your willpower all the time. If you can choose the easy path and the hard path, your brain will most of the time choose the easy path. So if you're surrounding yourself all the time with easy opportunities, like people eating trash food all the time, or people having very low standards, your brain will be like, I made $8,000 this month. Like, I'm rich. Like, it's amazing. But if you surround yourself with 7-figure entrepreneurs, you will feel pretty small. Like, you'll be like, wow, now I'm the poor guy here now. And then you'll have the motivation again, right? Because you don't have the easy excuse of having like people around you that have low standards and are living life in a way where it's not really good for you. It's like when you're trying to diet and you're at the table and they put bread on your table, right? And you don't want to eat bread. It's sitting there on the table. It's so easy. It's so hard to resist, right? You're hungry. That's why you're in the restaurant. Then they put this bread there. You're like, I can't eat the bread. Damn it, folks, give it to me. And that's what happens if you surround yourself with like low people or average people. They're like this bread. They will like distract you, seduce you to stuff that isn't really good for you. So if you want to fix your life, if you want certain things in your life, better make sure you have the gourmet stuff on your table. Better make sure you have the healthy stuff on your table. Better make sure you surround yourself with the right people and you're in a room with 7-figure people and not with people that are making $1,000 a month, right? Yeah,
yeah,
because it's all subconscious. People think they have mental control over it. It all happens unconsciously. That's why it's so scary. That's why it's so important that we put awareness on this and become aware of it, and that way we can take control of it. Yeah.
awesome. So tell me more about the mastermind that you have, Till's Mastermind. I'm in the group,
Yeah.
but it's fucking amazing. Most people, I think, in the list will know about it. So tell us more about it.
Well, the reason I created the group is actually, Elliot Halls, probably. He has this group, the non-job group, and I was like for the last 1 or 2 years, I was in the non-job group, and I was that was when I was also, learning still a lot of marketing, building my direct beats business. So I was in there sharing tips with people, and later on when I started to teach marketing, I realized that I have to create something like the non-job group for myself, because I was starting to back in the days, the non-job group didn't have like clear rules, so people were posting stuff all the time. I was posting links to my blogs, posting links to my videos. Back then it was okay, but what happened is I actually started to launch a product in Elliot's group, a traffic course, and people really liked it. Like, people really resonated with it. But what actually happened is Elliot actually gave me a call later on, and because I was launching in his group, he has like a few business partners, and he wanted to team up with me to actually launch this together, my course together as a part of the non-job brand. Okay, and for a lot of people that would have been a great opportunity to do that. They would have been like, "Yep, let's do it right away, make a lot of money." And for some reason, I was thinking about it. I was reflecting on it. I'm a big believer in gut feeling and listening to your guts and not making decisions too short term. So I actually decided not to do that deal. I decided to turn down the deal. And so what happened then is I left the non-job group, still on good terms with Elliot and everything. But I left the group. I decided, this is Elliot's group. This is what he does, and I can't just launch stuff in there. I need my own thing. I wanted my own group. I wanted my own tribe. So I left the non-job group on good terms with Elliot, and I built the mastermind group. That's how it was created. Okay? So I built the mastermind group just as a resource to share free tips with people, and a place where I could share my content in a way where it's okay, in a way where it doesn't mix up with other people's groups and everything, which is just a cleaner cut for everyone.
Yeah.
So I built that, shared my stuff, built a community there, and then I launched a program called the Inner Circle Mentoring, which is a paid program, which is like the Facebook mastermind group, but we get on weekly live calls. So we have like a webinar every week. We have like marketing resources in there. We have swipe files. We have a secret Facebook group. So yeah, I'm all about community. As we talked about, it's all about connections. It's all about building meaningful relationships with people and really helping them. And I believe communities are an amazing way to do that. It's all about community. So yeah, the marketing mastermind on Facebook, it's like the free one for people who just want to dip their toes into marketing, or they're starting out, or they don't know me yet and they don't want to join a paid program or something. I'm still trying to share lots of amazing stuff in there, and I also do some webinars, usually once a month, free webinars in there for people. And yeah, then I have the Inner Circle Mentoring Group. And now the next update is we're going to do the first live events this year. So there's going to be an Inner Circle Summit in Morocco in
Awesome.
September. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. My first big live event. And there's going to be a summit in California in November, because I have people from the US and also people from Europe. So I kind of want to do something for everyone, and I also want to stay away from the too traditional type of marketing conference. They're a bit boring. I like what Tim does with it's more engaging. It's more like retreats and trips. So I think it's a really cool format to combine marketing events, live seminars, to combine that with a retreat. Yeah, so super excited. Free marketing mastermind group, the free one, the Inner Circle group, which is also online, and now the first live events. So everything has just been building up, and super excited to see where it's going in the next years. And I just hope to help as many people as I can, with their marketing, build a lot of successful businesses with those people, help them. That's what I'm about. I don't really, of course I care about the money, but I care more about success stories and touching people's lives. As I say, I'm more of an artist than a cold business person or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens this year and the next year, and I'm super happy how everything's going right now. Yeah.
Awesome. So, to close this interview, we actually close it always with an action that somebody can take this week in order to get started or
Mm.
to improve their business or to do something meaningful. So, if you can think of something like they can stop bitching about it, stop putting excuses, and do this week and get
Mm.
amazing results from it, what will be it?
Um, what people in your group, what type of businesses are they mainly in? Service business or info marketing or
Probably we have a little bit of freelancers and service business overall.
okay. Um, it needs to be actionable, right? It needs to
Yes.
be actionable. Okay. Well, okay, I have an idea. I believe business and productivity are very related. I'm sure you've made this experience. A lot of freelancers,
Yeah.
as soon as you're self-employed, you have lots of issues with productivity. You have to set boundaries. You have no boss telling you do this, do that by this time, or you'll be fired. You don't have that pressure. You kind of have to, become aware and take control of your own productivity by yourself. So something that I would recommend people do is actually write in a success journal every night before they go to bed. Okay, this is something that totally transformed my life. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. Okay? Almost every night I have a little Word document, and I have a structure that I follow in the document. So, for anyone watching, all you have to do is create a Word document. And if you want, I can actually even send you the template later on, so you can add this to the video and give it to your people. They can just download it and fill it in.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I'll still quickly, go over it. So basically, what I do is I put up the date, right? What date is, and then I try to remember what I did. Yeah? What did I do in the morning? What did I do in the afternoon? What did I do in the evening? Because a lot of time we're living our lives so unaware of what we're doing. It's crazy. We think we're in control. In reality, I challenge you to sit down tonight and really think about what did you do in the morning, exactly step by step. What did you do in the afternoon? What did you do in the evening? And a lot of people starting out, they have like this foggy memory of what their day looked like. Like, oh yeah, I think I got up and then uh, did I do this or did I do that? They don't really know how they're spending their time. And what happens if you don't know how you're spending your time is you have no control over it. So having a daily success journal is a cool way to actually raise the awareness, make unconscious patterns in your life and in your business, make them conscious. Because when you look at your daily every day and you look like, oh, this is a pattern that I'm doing this every day, right? Sometimes you have to keep track not only of your sales and marketing, but of your own productivity and your habits. And when you start to measure that with the daily journal, you start to see patterns, bad patterns, good patterns. You can keep track of it in this journal, and then you can start tweaking it. You're like, oh, wow, I've been going to bed like at 2 a.m. for the last month. Maybe that's not so good, And then you're like, yeah, let's set a goal to go to bed at midnight or 11 p.m. or something. And you kind of have the awareness, and you have like this eagle's perspective on your own life with daily journal. Okay. So something else I write in the journal, I write in what I do in the morning, afternoon, evening, and I ask myself, when was I productive? When was I not productive? Then I ask myself, what did I accomplish? And I make a little list, a little bullet list, set up my blog, little bullets. Then I ask myself, what is one lesson that I learned today? That's one of the questions. Always trying to extract stuff that I learned and writing it down in a way that I understand it, because that way you'll learn even more. I ask myself, what can I do better tomorrow? What can I do better tomorrow? Then I do a little list of goals for the next day before I go to bed so they can sink in overnight. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe I forgot a few points on it, but I'll send you the template later on. Just by filling that out every night, you can test it for a week. This takes 5 minutes before you go to bed. That alone is such a productivity booster. It's amazing because you're starting to measure stuff, you're starting to compete with yourself. Because next day you're like, oh, now I can accomplish this and this and this, and you're starting to, you know, if you're starting to keep book of your own habits, it's like this little competition with yourself, and you want to constantly improve, and it's super amazing what happens. So yeah, I want to challenge, you know, your people. Just test this for a week, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you know, after a week you can stop doing it. And if it works for you, if you see like the power of it, you know, keep doing it. And it's one of my most amazing productivity tools ever, and I'm sure it'll massively help you, you know, build your business, have more focus, and get that altitude. You know, Evan Pagan talks a lot about altitude. This daily journal, that's really what helped me dramatically with getting altitude in my own life and in my business. Yeah, that's a tip I can give people.
Awesome. Definitely going to start doing it as soon as you send us the template. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the link as well below in the post to join your mastermind, your free mastermind, so people can, and
Cool.
also to your blog, to your YouTube blog. I love your videos.
Thanks.
And thanks a lot for being here, man. Thanks a lot for your time and all your advice.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks.
Awesome. Then thank you again for
Cool.
being here. And for all the people who were watching, it's time to start taking action towards it. Go hustle.